Welcome to our latest The Nintendo podcast. This is Hannah, and I am here with Chris, Katy, and our special guest today, Schkrimps. So, Katy, if you would like to introduce Mr. Schkrimps here.
Right, Schkrimps is a streamer and commentator for ARMS, as well as the team leader for the Shrimp Squad, which is a competitive ARMS team. So he's kind of a major figure in the online and in-person ARMS community these days.
Which I should have said we are going to be talking about today, which is ARMS. So, ARMS is a unique fighting game where players fight with these extendable, super-powered arms. It released for the Switch back in June of last year, so it'll be nearly a year since its release coming up. And again, today we're going to be talking about that. So we're going to start off this podcast discussing our personal favorite characters and maps in the game. So basically everyone here but me is pretty invested in the ARMS community, particularly the competitive one. So my answer is probably not going to be as detailed or interesting. But my favorite character personally, as you probably know from past podcasts, is Kid Cobra. I just really like his character design. I think he's fun to play as. But I'm not a competitive player or anything like that. And I would have to say, just for aesthetic purposes, my favorite map is, I want to say it's the DNA lab. It's where Helix is from. I like fighting on that map.
Oh yeah, I love Helix.
Yeah, no more details for that. I just, I like the aesthetics of both characters I find, or both of those, I find Kid Cobra fun to play as, and I love the music, the kind of techno-esque tunes in that map, so that's basically all I've got. What about you, Chris?
Oh, well, this is a really difficult one for favorite character for me because I really like Springman. And I think Springman's probably my best character because Deflect is OP. But I gotta go with Ninjara, specifically with the red costume because, I mean, being the Red Legend and all, I gotta represent the color. So, yeah, I think Ninjara is probably my favorite character. I just wish I was good with him and he didn't warp into rushes.
Yeah.
And I guess my favorite stage would have to be, I think, you know what, I gotta say Mausoleum.
That's a good one.
I have, like, first off, the music is amazing.
Yes.
And second, it's, I don't know, all the matches I have there usually they're pretty intense, and that trampoline just adds a whole new, like, it adds something completely new to the second round. Like, it just changes the tide of a match like that. So I would have to say Ninjara and Mausoleum, definitely.
Good stuff. What about you, Katy?
I'm gonna have to second Hannah on both accounts. My favorite character to play is definitely Kid Cobra. He's got a cool aesthetic. He's a rad streamer bro, which I think is hilarious. And also, like, his long dashes and stuff are really fun. Mm-hmm. And the big girth is a really nice thing to work with.
Oh yeah.
And DNA Lab, it's a good shape of a map. It's got the pillars that are fun to work with, but you can also destroy them. So I think it's really dynamic and interesting as far as maps go.
Good stuff. Yeah, definitely. And what about you,
However
Schkrimps?
much I will defend Snake Park to the end. DNA Lab still
Snake Park always. For me, I've always been a Helix guy. In many ways, I'm like a real life Helix. I'm all tall and lanky and gooey looking. Gooey looking, yeah. So, very Helix-like, and I like his noises. He's the only one in the game who can't talk. He just makes all sorts of weird noises. Yeah. So definitely a Helix guy. And for stage, I'm gonna have to go against the competitive community here and go Name Redacted.
Oh, really? Redacted
Yeah.
is a wonderful stage.
The last stage added to the game, Dr. Coyle's stage. That one is awesome. With the moving boxing bags, Helix fits well there.
Oh,
yeah,
the
it's really
music is
tricky
so
to work
good there
around,
too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the music is excellent in
Yeah.
a lot of the new stages, especially.
I'm trying to take more advantage of the conveyor belt there, because it can be really fun, especially as Helix, if you just tower on it.
Yeah.
You can just drift away or into the fight as you want.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, it's a cool stage for sure. And I really like Dr. Coyle. I'm crap with her, but she's very fun, and she's a little wild.
She's a lunatic.
Yeah, she's a little crazy.
Her third arm is so good, though. I think that's very fun to utilize, but yeah, I know she gets shat on, from what I've seen in the community, but she's cool. She's cool.
She can be pretty tricky to hit.
Yeah.
I saw from some of the Mega League Mondays that I've tuned into. I've seen some people use her pretty well too. Like it's definitely I feel like it's a character that we just need to learn more about. But once we do,
Yeah.
I mean, we'll probably see some really good coils.
Yeah, one of my teammates, Grifficle, he is a Dr. Coil main, and he uses double Scully for the most part.
Yes,
Oh, wow.
yes.
Yeah, he made it to the final of the US-Canada Open that Nintendo hosted online with Dr.
Oh, yeah,
Coil. Yeah. Him and
Yeah, he did
Resolve
great.
battled it out. Yeah, it was really close, but he's probably the best Coil that I know of.
Yeah, they took that to the full best of 5, I believe.
Yeah, and they
With
had
a double
draw.
KO during one.
Yep.
Yeah, the double KO. Yeah, I'm remembering that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Super
crazy.
hype matches for anybody who wants to see some high-level
Yeah.
competitive play.
Yeah, actually, that one is the video that's on ARM's official website. If you just go to their videos, it's right on there.
Oh, really? That's sweet.
Yeah.
That Resolve, man. Oh boy.
Now, can someone explain, because I've heard the name a lot of times, but I haven't been able to research who that is. Who exactly is Resolve?
Resolve is one of the 2 sponsored players for ARMS.
2?
He's on a team. Yeah, there's 2 players that are signed to a team called Set to Destroy, and those are Gore Magala and Resolve.
Oh,
And they
Gore,
destroy.
yeah.
Resolve's a Springman main. He mostly sticks to default ARMS, but occasionally Roaster and Nade, depending on the situation. So,
Huh, so I'm assuming he's very good.
yeah,
Yes.
he's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yes, very good.
You know, I mean, like, he's probably above rank 15, I'd guess.
Oh, he's
Yeah,
definitely.
just slightly.
Just a tiny bit.
He's on the
a lot
dashboard
of-
for
A lot of
sure.
the pros have several accounts that are on the dashboard, and he's one
Yeah.
of them.
Wow.
Yeah, his Springtron account is Devilman.
They have the
So.
Smurf
Yep.
accounts, and then you wonder why you get clobbered by like a rank 2.
Oh god, yeah. I've seen that happen in Splatoon, the separate accounts,
Oh,
so. Yeah, oh my god, though. Yeah, Springtron and Springman are very good characters.
Deflect, man. It's that deflect.
The blue bounce.
The blue bounce, as I call it, but it's deflect. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I have the most frustrating time against Springtron, though. Obviously.
The EMP.
Yeah, the timing to punish his little EMP is kind of tricky because he
What?
does like his full charge up,
Mhm.
and then you have to wait until he finishes, and then you can poke him when he lands from his little jump.
Yeah. I just.
But the
ooh.
timing's really tough because if you get it wrong, you don't have an arm anymore.
Yep. That's usually what I have to deal with.
You know what's excellent for a Springtron though is any kind of freeze arm.
Oh.
It's because you can. I mean, pretty much you can play mind games to your opponent. Like if you freeze them, you can just chain a freeze into another freeze, or you can grab them, or you can EMP. Like you have 3 different things you can do. And I've noticed it when I was doing the party crash, and I just picked up Springtron just for fun. And I noticed that I was like, wow, this character is like really really cool. I mean, yeah, he's a little cheap, I can admit, but if you learn how to counter the EMP, I mean, he's pretty much a worse Springman at that point.
Huh.
He's done a little better since they changed around how his charge works because he gets really fast after the EMP now,
Yeah.
which
But
was
still-
I think a good change and a
Still,
good
I think
like.
Springman still is. I think Springman overall still better because when you're at, I think it's below what? Is it below 25% or 20%?
Yeah, it's below a quarter that he gets his permacharge.
I could save you.
Yeah, good stuff though. Do y'all want to discuss anything else before we go into our questions for Mr. Schkrimps?
What's favorite arm? I think is an interesting question.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well duh. Oh my god, yes.
Because there's, what, 45 of them to choose from? 42?
Yes.
42, I think.
Yeah,
There's a
42.
lot.
It's a lot.
So I don't know about y'all, but my favorite's the revolver.
I hate that.
I have a lot of fun with that arm. I just like the 3 separate little ones. It's fun, and when you jump around, I used to use Ribbon Girl a lot, and so Ribbon Girl and the revolvers was very fun. I know you don't like them.
That arm is very frowned upon in the competitive community.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't.
It
a
is
big
not
fan.
seen as a usable arm, really.
Which stinks, because I just find it fun, and I always thought that the one that was frowned upon in terms of, like, electric arms was the Seiki, but I suppose not. That was
no,
like
the
months
Seeker can
ago.
be deadly. The rush.
Yeah.
If you know how to chain the 2 Seekis together with the rush, if you time it right, it can
Oof.
400 damage right there.
Yeah. So as you
Yeah.
could tell, I'm not involved in the competitive
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, and Seiki stun lasts the longest of all the electric
It's
arms.
scary.
It's just because the revolver has those 3 stun points, and if you
Yeah.
hit somebody who's stunned, they fall down. So if you get a stun, you almost always get a knockdown too. So it kind of makes the arm obsolete.
So you may as well
Yeah.
use the retorture. It's just a better version.
Yeah,
pretty much.
because
Okay.
then at least you do more damage and you still get the knockdown.
Yeah, the punch path is a little different between the two. Because I've heard the retorture described as a bit like sloppier
Yeah, it is
compared
sloppy.
to the revolver.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can't necessarily control every angle that the retorture takes. They kind of shoot out at different angles, whereas the revolver is more where you aim it.
Well, because the
Oh,
retorture spins, so where the 3 prongs come out vary.
Huh.
I had no idea. I literally thought they were the same. It was just
Yeah,
that
not quite. The revolver had a bunch more tweaks in later patch notes, so.
Okay, at least it's different then.
I will keep that in
Yep.
mind and check that out next time I play, so I look a little less cheap. I also love the bubs. The bubs are really fun, especially
Oh,
with Kid
yeah.
Cobra.
Nice.
Yeah, Kid Cobra's girth in the bubs is very entertaining. Chris showed me that actually
cheese.
months
The
ago.
cheese. Yeah, I just call it the cheese. Yeah.
That and a megaton I've had fun with. That's really all I've got.
I guess my favorite arm. It used to be the tri-bolt, but any weapon that combos into itself, I guess is kind of funny. But I would have to say, I really, really, really just like. I mean, it sounds boring, but I like the toaster. It's just a nice. For me, it's like a nice balanced arm. It does good damage, has decent speed,
Mhm.
and it's medium weight. Like it's just a good arm.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty standard.
All around, it is good.
Yep, has good tracking too.
It's a good solid arm.
It is. It really is. It's
Yeah,
just
it is. It's like
It's a
in
pretty
the top-
popular one, too.
in the top quarter of all the arms, I'd say, in its versatility.
Just ask Gore in tower mode how he likes the toasters.
Right.
Yeah. Good luck.
Oh, yeah. Oh, goodness. Oh, good stuff, though. You got any others, or is that it for you?
I guess an honorable mention. I know it's not a very good arm, but it's the one I used when I first started the game. Leave me alone, but I like the Sparky a lot. It was just because I thought, oh yeah, electricity is the best element. It's OP. It's free. It's a free grab.
That's
But
like
then I realized the Sparky's really not all that great.
Yeah, Sparkies are a little slow compared to the other gloves.
It's not that good, but I
It's
still
yellow.
I still like using it from time to time. It's good.
I match my arms to whatever skin I pick, so
me too, girl. Me
color
too.
is relevant suddenly.
I
Oh,
want to
yeah.
bring up something.
That's half
real
the battle.
fast. I want to bring up something real fast about that, just real quick. Has anybody ever noticed, like, when they were first, like, showing, like, pictures of Ribbon Girl and Ninjara and stuff like that, they gave Ninjara the Sparky,
Yeah.
like, almost as it was
Well,
part of
that's
his
true,
default
yeah,
arm, and then they changed
during
it. Well, I
the
wonder what
promos.
happened there. That's weird.
Yeah, no, because I don't remember when the art came out, but there's that art of Springman and Ninjara kind of. They look like rivals. They're like about to brawl.
Yeah, and then he has the
Yep.
Sparky, and even all, like,
Mhm.
even, like, you think in the demo and stuff.
Yep.
But then they
Mhm.
switched.
Very
I
weird.
just feel like it's an interesting decision. That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. That is interesting. But mostly because he has a glove arm
Yeah, he has
as
the,
one of his
buff.
defaults. Yeah, his
Whatever.
buffs are a default, so you'd think they would have gone with those. I guess not. I don't
Also
know.
a very good arm. The buff is a very good arm too.
Oh,
It
yeah.
has very fast retraction time.
Very good.
Cool.
I'm done. I'm done. You can go.
What about you, Katie?
My favorites are Slamamanders. I like the wind, and Manders just feel really nice on motion.
Ooh.
I know.
Oh yes, I forgot. Schkrimps hates the slam.
At least it's not a Slapamander.
Yeah, the Slapamander. That's it.
Slam is the nicer one, I think. But I hear they're pretty jank with both the weird angles that you can get
The
on
hitboxes.
motion, and Cobra Girth is something else. So,
Oof, yes.
Oh.
That's one of his
I remember
defaults,
those
isn't it?
yeah.
Okay.
If I can do nothing else, I can land Mander rushes. So there's that at least.
My enemy. The Manders are so hard for Helix to avoid because they can actually come from behind you, even if you dodge them from the side.
Yep, they can just whack your little booty.
Yeah.
I remember so many streams I've seen Schkrimps and you it's you with those.
I just get so happy when I see Slap Manders.
Because you use the
girls,
clapback, and then they're just going around the clapback.
Yeah, nothing but smiles. Yeah, which brings me to my favorite arms, the shield arms.
Yeah.
It's hard to distinguish between favorites for me. I guess I use clapback is more useful, but if I have a good Guardian build, that's really, really fun as well.
I've been growing fonder of the Guardian lately. I haven't figured out clapback yet, but the creep of the Guardian is really interesting to work with, since it just keeps advancing on your opponent the whole time.
You need to see Archie, the Helix that we never have seen.
I know, Archie Magoo,
Archie was the legend.
My long-lost teammate. He turned into a legend, then disappeared, and
I know, he was
he'll
crazy.
He'll just live on forever in our minds, and those YouTube videos.
Yeah, definitely the best default Helix I've ever seen.
He was amazing. Yeah.
So, who is this again?
Archie Magoo was a Helix player. He played the default arms for Helix, which are admittedly odd, since Blorb, Ice Dragon, and Guardian are pretty weird arms on their own. But yeah, he did an excellent job working that set.
Whoa. And what, like, in tournaments, or what?
Oh, he took, Schkrimps would probably know better than I would which ones he was in. I feel like I remember seeing him in a Ramen Bowl or something early on.
See him clean up during streams,
He played in Ramen Bowl, Mega League Monday, and Fight Club until, like, I don't know, last year sometime, and then we just never heard from him again.
What?
Disappeared. Completely disappeared.
Gone.
That's crazy.
Well, wherever he is, I hope he's doing well.
Same.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
That's
me too.
concerning. Like,
Archie, Archie, come home.
when will he come back from the war?
The Goo Boys miss you.
Yeah.
We do. We need more Helix mains. There's only like 4 of us left.
Jeez.
I love
Not
Helix.
gonna lie, I've been enjoying playing Helix lately.
Yeah, he's fun. He's
He's
silly.
the most fun to play.
I just swapped my second from Mechanica to Ninjara because I want Guardian Scorpio to be a thing.
Oh.
I've decided I want it to be a thing.
I like it.
But I've been playing a lot of Ice Dragon Thunderbird Birdchuck Helix, which is kind of neat.
Yeah,
Puddle Form's underrated.
Oh yeah, Puddle Form rocks.
Just throwing a Birdchuck from Puddle, it's just like, you thought that cracker would hit me. You were wrong, friend.
That's another one of your favorites, isn't it, Schkrimps? The Birdchuck and the the Fun Chuck as well.
Well, I'm okay with those now. Like, the only thing that actually frustrates me is the Mander, because I can dodge it from the side and I can forward dash, and it can still hit me in the back of the heels. It's just like the most frustrating thing ever, that an arm can hit me twice in between 2 dashes.
And the hitbox is just jank on it too, because even offline, like my wife and I, we always verse each other offline with it, and I even that, like, in offline, like I'm watching replays and the thing is completely missing me and it still hits me, like it still sends me flying, and so I'm like, it doesn't even touch me.
I still struggle with birds.
Yeah, birds can be
just
tough.
destroy me.
They're so cute. The little baby ones when they like.
They are
the
cute,
little egg, little egg
Yes.
there. Yeah.
Yes.
It's the details. It's always the details with Nintendo games.
Right, it is.
God, I love it.
Like when you full charge with Helix and Puddle, and he just kind of does that little roar.
Yes, he's
A little wiggle.
his best quality, his wiggles.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. And his noises.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Noises easily win.
He's great. His, like, various skins remind me of, like, a gummy worm. Like, he looks so tasty. As weird as that sounds, like...
Or
Flavors
Jello.
of Jello.
Yes!
He's got lime, he's got raspberry.
Yeah. I'm
He's
always
got
the brown
marmalade.
Helix.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the brown Helix.
Yeah.
Wait,
it's-
he's brown? I thought he was
Well,
orange.
Well,
I always
it's
call
like
him
a-
Marmalade Helix.
Yeah, it's a marmalade Helix. Well, that's
Marmalade.
a good
It's a
term.
bronze. It's a bronze Helix.
That's adorable. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I like the pink one. Pink one's cute. But they're all cute. It's Helix.
Yeah. I always feel
Right,
like
he's
Helix,
a 2-year-old.
yeah.
He is
That's
a
what I was
toddler.
gonna say. He's
He's
only
also
2.
200 pounds.
Oh dear God.
He's a 200 pound blob of goo.
200-pound 2-year-old.
Yeah.
Good. Oh my God. All right, you ready for Schkrimps questions, Katie?
I'm good whenever. Are you good, Schkrimps?
I'm ready.
Woo.
All right, so last September, Schkrimps, you started Mega League Monday, your first weekly ARMS tournament. Now in June, you commentated at Smash and Splash, a major tournament in Wisconsin. Can you tell us how you've personally seen the ARMS scene grow in that time?
Yes. So since I've been doing weeklies, I've seen kind of a plateau in community growth. Like everybody hit this stage where we had the Dr. Coyle update. That was the last patch that we got. And after that, we didn't get any more balances. We got nothing else. And kind of in that time, in this 3 to 5 months we've had to kind of evaluate the game as it stands, I've seen it hit a point where people stopped making new tournaments and they stopped. I just saw less new entrants into my online tournaments, things like that. But after Smash and Splash, I feel like there's just a giant surge again. Even local tournaments are starting to pop up everywhere. So,
Well, that's good to hear.
yeah. So there was kind of a worrisome period, I would say, for the growth of the game, but I feel like we're right back on track, and the game looks like it's gonna stay beside other fighters at locals.
Oh, thank God. You were depressing me for a second there. Happy ending.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It wasn't meant to sound depressive. I'm just being honest. Like the growth of the game is super, super important to me. That's like the number one thing. So that's always what I'm focused on.
That's awesome.
That actually kind of answers the what do you think about the future of ARMS, both online and in-person events. So,
Yeah,
guess I won't bother with that one. You got covered it.
Yeah, I mean, the future of ARMS looks great, and it looks good enough to me where I think we're gonna get in ARMS too. And if that happens, then they have a chance to fix a few of the dynamics and make the game even more popular and pertain to an even wider audience.
For sure. I dig it. All right, so since you have experience both running online tournaments and now having been at an in-person event, the ARMS Backrooms had extensive talks about competitive rule set. Based on your experience, what do you think works and what would you change?
So I'm part of the ARMS Backroom. So all the decisions that were made in there, I had a hand in making, so I stand behind what we've done so far. And our most recent vote was to keep Mausoleum in the competitive stage set. I mean, aside from stages, everything else is pretty standard for what you'd see in a fighting game format for a backroom. Just as far as stage striking goes, number of stages, how we run tournaments, double elimination with pools. Yeah.
So all's well there.
Yes,
Can
indeed.
you go over,
All
for
is well.
people who don't know, can you go over what the competitive rule set is for tournaments?
Yeah, so we have 5 standard stages that you use to choose from initially, and then we also have 2 counter stages, so it's a 7-stage set. And the first game usually is started with a rock, paper, scissors decision. The first player, whoever wins, will strike 1 stage, second person will strike 2, and then the final person does the last strike, technically choosing the stage. And then as you progress, the strikes and decisions go in the loser's advantage.
That seems fair. Good. Cool stuff.
Well, then the starter stages are, what are they? Sparring ring,
Yep.
Temple
DNA,
Grounds, Mausoleum, DNA Lab,
and Buster Beach.
and Buster Beach.
Yep.
And then counters are still Via Dolce and Scrapyard.
You got it.
Cool.
Yeah. So
No Spring Stadium.
no Spring Stadium. The reason behind that is because the trampoline allows for a huge advantage for arms with knockdown, wind arms. Anything that allows you to get your opponent up onto the trampoline is just an automatic rush confirmation, and it takes a lot of the technical skill out of the game.
Yep, I agree.
That makes sense.
And the dreaded Yabuki combo where you grab and throw somebody onto the springboard and then rush into their face.
Outside of the trampolines, it's so tight. Like the space is so tiny in there. Like even like a 1v1, it's really bad. But even in party mode, it's just chaos. And there's 4 people in there.
Yeah, sparring is also really tiny.
Yeah, sparring. Yeah, sparring is a problem if you get cornered by a Max Brass. It's a problem.
Yeah, it can be. Sparring ring can be trouble.
Yeah, never say GG to a Max Brass.
Oh my god.
Never.
That's new. I've never heard you talk about Max Brass that way, Chris.
No, I'm sorry, after I've seen Redengard and I think a few other people in the stream, I'm like, that is scary. That is very scary.
You get a buffed up Max Brass with some quick arms and he's just in your face and you're in a corner and there's no escape.
It's troublesome. That saying, never say GG to a Max Brass, came from, I was streaming one time and I fight in my own Monday, my Mega League Monday. I usually fight in that.
Okay.
And I was fighting a guy by the name of Superior Fan.
Yeah.
Really, Serp. Really good Max Brass. And I was up by a lot, and I connected on a grab that put me up like 75% HP. And I was just like, GG, Serp. And then I started missing hits, and he started coming back, and he was already in his permanent buff state. And as soon as he started comboing me, I was like, oh no. Oh no! Never say GG to Max Brass. Don't do it.
I remember this.
Don't do it. If it's not a good game, it's not a good game.
So it became the thing in the chat now with everybody would just say, Schkrimps himself says, yeah, never say GG. Do not say GG to Max Brass.
Oh my goodness. So you had 2 of your questions answered, Katie. Do you have any more? Or 2 at once was answered?
At Smash and Splash, what would you note as the differences between the Japanese scene and the Western scene?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Ooh, so I can't speak on the scene as a whole for the Japanese. I can only
just from
speak
what
on
you saw in the tournament.
5 people that I know. I would say I can speak on what I think sets them apart as players. As far as like how healthy their scene is or what they're doing, I'm not really directly connected with their things, especially their offline stuff. But there are tournaments running. The 3 sponsored players from the Detonators team, which are Pega, Ku, and Chateau. Those guys all stream a lot, like almost every day. So if you guys are interested in their streams, they're all on Twitch, and they stream kind of in the morning for U.S. times, usually. But they're awesome. I would say what sets them apart is their ability to use the fundamentals of the game rather than use a character or an arm set. Like, initially when we started playing the game, we saw these great characters like Gore Magala, known for double gloves, Resolve, known for using his standard arm set. Well, those guys literally cannot win against the Japanese if they don't switch their characters now. So it's a necessity in competition to have 3, 4, 5 viable characters that you can actually use.
Wow.
During the course
I
of
heard they were doing a lot of counterplay, especially for those big names on our scene.
That's crazy.
Yep.
That's neat.
Pega went with his main Max Brass, that's his main character, and Gore went Helix. And Gore went up on Pega early. And then Pega switched to a Kid Cobra with double Burchucks and just destroyed Gore's Helix because Helix is really vulnerable to Chucks.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even close. So he forced Gore out of his main character. And it was just a series of character switches and arm decisions and matchup styles that not only outmatched the U.S. players, but kind of took them out of their comfort zone, too.
Yeah, I wonder if we're going to be seeing a bit more counterplay on our scene after that.
Yeah,
that
we
is
have
awesome.
to. We see guys picking up new characters all the time now. It's really good.
Should
We
be
see
interesting.
some interesting combinations too. Like I one player that I really like is Rifa. I like how he
Yeah.
uses the dragon and stuff like that. He's always been my one of my favorites
Yeah.
to watch.
Yeah,
Rifa-
Ice Dragon
Rifa
on
to Germany.
Ninjara is so unique.
Yep. Twin 5-0 as well. I like
Yeah, he's another great Ice
his
Dragon
style
user.
as well too with Lola.
Oh yeah, Twin 5-0 is phenomenal. One of the best players right now.
And you said he
That's
uses the ice dragons?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Well,
Twin
Rifa, yeah.
5 uses Ice Dragon and Biffler on Lola Pop, and Rifa uses Triblast and Ice Dragon on Ninjara.
Ooh.
One of the only Ninjaras to do it.
Wow. That's really cool, because I love the dragons. Like, I have since the beginning of the game. They're neat. So, that's really cool. I've yet to hear of them being used by, major folks in the community, I suppose, or popular people.
They're good on those characters because, well, I'm just going to assume in Ninjara because his dash is it goes like really, really long. And
Yeah,
it's-
Ninjara can move a lot when he still
Yeah.
has an arm out, whereas most characters will have very limited movement when they have an arm out. Ninjara is so fast that even when he has a dragon out and it's firing, he's still got a lot of mobility.
It's like a pseudo Lola almost. Like his dash is that good. It's like how
Huh.
Lola has that dash to the side.
Yeah,
Like Ninjara's is really good. Too.
Ninjara is more about his walk speed. Like he can have his dragon arm out and continue to move effectively and dodge without even having to dash because his walk speed's so fast.
Zippy doo.
And Lola has those quick dashes and the super jump out of her shield, so you can draw an enemy close to you, shoot out your dragon arm, and dash backwards at the same time. So you create so much space in between you and them that they actually can't hit you, and you get a free shot with your dragon arm.
Yeah, and Twin's an expert at doing that.
Zoning
Yep,
game.
zoning character, absolutely.
Very cool. So, Chris, you had a question, right?
Yeah, I have it's an obscure question, but so how did your little friend that streams with you? How did Henry come to be a thing?
How did Henry become? Okay, so it came from my name, first of all, is Schkrimps, which is like a funny way of saying shrimps.
Yep.
So the shrimp came from my mother, who knitted it for me, or crocheted it, or yeah.
Oh, what?
It was beautiful. She gave it to me, I think, for Christmas or something back, like right the same year I started streaming.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so she gave it to me, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna put this on my microphone, and so I started doing that.
Yeah.
And then Henry kind of evolved into an actual thing
Yeah.
when I started doing the floating head look on my stream.
Yeah. Ever
So-
since that accident with the chakrams, right?
Right, yeah. So people were like, why are you a floating head? So I just was like, got my head chopped off by chakrams
Chakrams.
in an arms accident.
It was terrible.
Yeah, it was horrible, and Henry saved me, and he carries my head around, and we're basically a symbiotic unit now.
An
See,
absolute
I
unit.
knew this was going to be a good answer. That's why I wanted to ask this question.
So yeah, Henry carries me around when I'm in my floating head mode.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah. And his name is Henry because Resolve, the guy we were talking about before, his real name is Henry. And Resolve, he won the first 3 fight clubs that I ran, so we named the shrimp after him.
That's so cool. I love it. There's so much lore behind that. I'm so happy.
You heard it here, folks.
Yeah, you heard it here.
So deep in the lore.
Yeah.
We thought we were going to talk about arms lore, but really we're talking about
No,
Shrimp's lore.
Shrimp's lore.
Shrimp's lore, yeah.
They're one and the same.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I love that. I gotta check that out sometime. I'm definitely interested in these streams now. I thought I was
yeah.
before. This is a whole new level of
It's
interest.
a good time. It's a good
Yeah,
time.
gotta see where Henry's hanging. Is he in the headphones? Is he on the mic?
Yeah.
Oh my god, good stuff. Yeah, and definitely all this talk about the community and competitive plays make me want to step up my game and practice. Because again, like I've said in past podcasts and just in general, I feel like lore. God, after all that conversation about lore, that's on my head now. But ARMS in general, the game, it's so underrated.
Yeah.
I mean, I love, from what I've seen, the community. I feel like it's different. Again, this is from like a third party view, but like I feel like it's different from other competitive communities that I've seen in terms of like everyone's familiar with each other, but it's not like necessarily a hyper competitive community. It's more of like a tight knit family-esque community. I really like that. That's really cool. And so, my question that I have for you though is, do you have any advice or words for people that might be interested in the competitive community for ARMS?
Absolutely, yes. There are a lot of resources out there for you to play ARMS at any level you want with whoever you want. Like if you want to play alongside top 200 dashboard players, you can come sign up for my online tournaments. Some of the players have tournaments themselves that they run on Twitch. There is the casual ARMS server, which somebody here might know something about.
That I would. I happen to run it.
Yeah, so the casual ARMS people are awesome because they help bridge that gap between, well, not even bridge the gap. They allow for organized ARMS without the pressure of the competitive scene. So you can get together with random people, find new friends online, and play ARMS and have fun and not worry about your results.
Yeah, so like our primary events that we host on Casual ARMS, we have party lobbies, and then we'll separate them by tier. So we'll have easy, medium, or hard usually, and then people can pick whichever difficulty they want to practice at. And you play in a party lobby. It's plain old normal ARMS, low pressure. It's all lobbies, so it's not like a 1v1 kind of focus thing necessarily. So anytime you can practice with that, and you can bump up to a higher difficulty to fight different players, but then there's also people at all hours of the day looking for friendlies with each other, so you can boot up an arena with anybody. And we've got ranks from anywhere from 1 to 20 on that server, so it's a good variety of different skill levels, so lots of different people to learn from, and anytime there are tournaments happening, we give the people who are interested in that a heads up. So we work with Schkrimps a lot with Mega League Monday. We've got a warm-up lobby for that we do the hour beforehand, so we practice a bunch of fights, and then we can like kind of shuttle people over to Mega League Monday, which is a good taste of the competitive scene.
Okay.
So I'm sure Schkrimps can talk a bit more about that, of how to participate and what's involved in that.
Yeah, that, like she's saying, the Mega League Monday is a good start, a good taste of the competitive scene. You start out in a pool with 4 people total, so you have 3 matchups, and you play a best of 3 against each person in your pool. And then the top 2 people move on into a single elimination bracket, so then it kind of turns into a real competitive format after your pool. So it makes sure that everybody who signs up gets to play multiple times against multiple people, regardless of how you do. So if you just want to try your hand at being competitive, that's a great one to do it. But all this info, all the tournaments and everything, just check out the Twitters that'll be posted, I'm sure, and the Discord links. The Discord is huge. That's where you'll find all the people communicating on a daily basis.
Very cool. Yeah, I know I'm a member of the Casual ARMS Discord, so I have seen a lot of content from there, and I really dig it. I love that community. And you're right, though, it is a nice bridge into the competitive community. And I love how that's even an option, because I'm sure they exist, I'm sure, but like when I dabbled into like competitive Smash a few years ago, you know, I knew nothing about groups like that. Like they weren't so open about, hey, here's a casual community if you're interested. Again, I'm very sure they exist, I just wasn't able to hear about them, I guess. And so
Smash is not as tightly knit. That's definitely one of the problems there as well. Like
it's just so massive it can't be tightly knit.
Exactly.
Well, plus Smash started as an offline scene, because when Smash started, online games weren't as much of a thing, whereas ARMS started when online games were a thing, so the community built up online.
That's true. That makes sense.
And an excellent thing I'd like to mention about the ARMS community, especially when they meet in person, whereas like most games you'll get like a handshake, or at least you'll say good game afterwards. What I love about the ARMS community is they almost always seem to hug after matches.
Yep, every match.
Yeah.
Every single match, like even they'll pop off so hard that they'll break their controller and they're screaming, but then they'll turn back around and hug their opponent, and, like embrace them for 5 seconds. It's like, what? Wow.
It's so charming. I love it.
It's the Malieve hugs. Yeah,
it is. It's so good. Like even at Smash and Splash, when I was commentating that major. I was with a guy named Lordstrom, who's a popular commentator for Smash, and I'd never met him before. We just met when we were commentating. And at the end of the set, he's like, "Man, I'm really feeling the love. I feel like we get a hug too." So we just right there on air had a hug at the end of all the matches. Like, yeah, that felt right.
That's awesome. That's community right
Yeah,
there.
super warm, super welcoming.
Yeah.
Anywhere on your skill level, people will be glad to help you out and teach you stuff about the game because we all love it. So
Yeah.
That is so cool. That's so charming. That's absolutely wonderful.
We have all ages too. Like Gabby Cats is what, 7?
yeah, she's 7.
What?
Oh,
She
yeah,
does videos
she's
with her
amazing.
dad on YouTube.
Yeah.
Gabby Cats on YouTube.
It's awesome. Yeah, she does everything with her dad, which is great. Like her dad will come into the Discord and make sure she's in a safe environment, which she is. We're extremely friendly as a community as a whole, and especially the casual Discord and my own. I know we're extremely strict on like keeping it a friendly environment because we know we have people of all ages.
That's awesome. I absolutely love that. That's so cool. Is there any other aspects about the community you guys want to discuss in particular? Because I know we delved into a lot. But anything else in particular about the community you guys want to talk about? Anything in mind?
I don't know if this. Well, I guess this can pertain to the community, but if you remember, Hannah, that little idea I had for like a game mode for ARMS.
Yeah.
Play like an elimination kind of type rule set where it's like, I mean, obviously this would take a really long time and would need some refining, but I thought of like a 1v1 type system where you can pick your characters and basically if you use an arm in a match against that person and you lose, you cannot use that arm anymore. Like it's actually crossed off the list. You can't use it. And basically whoever runs out of arms first will lose, and whoever has their arms left wins. So it's pretty much like an arms elimination thing. So
Oh, nice.
do you risk bringing like 2 arms, like 2 of your best arms right away, and if you lose, then you've lost your 2 best arms. So you have to just deal with what you've got left. So you pretty
Yeah,
much
that sounds fun.
like a survival thing. I know it would need refining because that would take forever.
Being arms elimination.
Yeah, that was my idea. I thought, Hannah, one time maybe you and I should try streaming it and see if we can make it work.
Oh yeah, definitely. That would be really fun.
I would love to see some like gimmicky kind of rule sets like that put into like a tournament environment, stuff like that, and it would just make some pretty interesting matches.
Oh yeah.
Schkrimps has a couple of those in the works.
Oh, he
One of
does. But I mean,
them's,
if
a
he did
team
something
for
like that
free.
too, that'd be awesome. Like that'd be really neat.
Do you want to maybe talk about what you're working on?
Oh, yeah.
Project Strike might be worth mentioning here.
Yeah, that's the new project we've been working on for, I don't know, 5 months now, which is Griffical, myself, and Superior, who I was speaking about before.
Oh.
So Project Strike, our goal was to bring the majority of the strategy outside of the game of ARMS, since pretty much every format that we run into is just get in a lobby, play somebody in a certain format. So with Project Strike, we invented our own currency system, our own trading market, and also a draft system. So it's going to run as a league. We've pre-designed 14 teams with 2 divisions, and they'll run a whole season. Players have to apply to get on teams initially, and then it's basically like its own ecosystem, its own game within the game.
Okay.
Oh, wow. That
Yeah.
sounds cool.
But yeah,
Yeah.
they're gonna have to like draft arms sets and stuff as a team, and it should be really neat.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
Should be fun. Like each team starts out with a certain amount of money, and there's a tier list for arms that they cost different amounts. So you can choose to buy 2 really good arms and not even have a 3rd arm for that week, or you can buy, a medium and 2 low tier arms and be able to switch it up. And it's teams of 2, so your team has to decide on which arm you can both use.
That's so cool.
Yep. That's
So
coming
stay tuned
up
for that on Schkrimps.twitch.
I was gonna say, yeah. When is that gonna be a thing? 'Cause I don't know
twitch.tv/Schkrimps.
Yeah, I'm Schkrimps everywhere. That's it, just Schkrimps. If you can figure out how to spell it, you can find me on everything.
Yeah, I've had troubles a few times.
Basically, just all of the consonants. There's only one vowel in the entire thing.
Oh man. But yeah, screw my idea. I want to do this.
Well, yeah, but that's the newest one, and then we also have Fight Club, which is just a straight up round robin. That one's invite only, and then 3VT, which I try to run every other Thursday. That is a 3 versus 3 format, and basically your team has 4 lives, and you get to choose who you want to go into what matchup against the opponent.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep. So lots of crazy and fun formats for ARMS are out there for anybody who wants to do something out of the norm as well.
That's so cool. That sounds like a lot of fun too.
I always liked watching crew battles too. Those are always pretty cool.
Yeah, that's essentially what the 3VT is. It's like a quicker crew battle.
So what's a crew battle?
Oh, so in ARMS and esports in general, players wear a tag for their team.
Oh.
And in ARMS we have like 5, 6, 7 the great houses of ARMS. So yeah, we put our tags on for that.
Okay.
And then the whole team will fight against each other, or so many members of the team.
Oh, like skirmishes and stuff like that.
Yeah, and basically, if somebody loses, I mean, they're out, and you bring in another person, or you bring in another guy.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
I've seen those in Splatoon, so that's cool.
But they're very fun to watch. They're very entertaining because you can get a huge upset where like one person will take out like 4 people, but then the next person who comes in takes out 4 people on the other team. Like it's anything can happen. Yeah.
That's neat. That sounds really intense.
It is. Those are for the pros for sure.
That's awesome. Good stuff. Is there anything else about the community you guys want to talk about in particular, or do you guys want to move on to our last topic we have planned?
Just shout out to the community because they're so overwhelmingly friendly and positive. I didn't think this could exist in a video game community, so good job, everyone.
Especially fighting game community, because we've got like a super diverse community in regards to like age and identities and everything. So like it's super international. We've got a lot of active European players all in this scene. We've got Japanese scenes, everything.
That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. I love the sentiment behind it too. It is very friendly.
Yeah.
Very appealing.
And I hope it stays that way too. Like definitely.
I could see that happening. And I could see again, like, I know we talked about in ARMS 2 earlier, but hopefully the community can grow even more if we have, an outlet like that. I think ARMS 2 would be awesome.
I can't wait. It's coming. It's gotta come.
Yeah.
We want it, Nintendo.
Yeah, really though. And like, I don't know about y'all, but I'm like disappointed that the roster ended where it did, and how we're not getting more characters. And obviously, if we're getting an ARMS 2, I would rather have that than more characters. But at the same time, when I first heard that one update with Coil, Coil was gonna be it, I was like, really? Like the game hasn't even been out for a year. What are your thoughts on that, Schkrimps?
I thought they timed things well. I thought for the short amount of time they pushed the Switch out in to have ARMS ready and be a brand new IP and to have it be as balanced and successful as it was, that is an astronomical feat in itself. And I felt like as a consumer and as a player in the first 6 months of the game, it was just like Christmas every new month when they dropped with a free update, free patches, free character stages, new ARMS. Like, and the new ARMS is a huge thing because that opens up those 3 ARMS on every single character in the game. So with every character you add, you have to not only balance that character in the game, but you have to balance all 3 of the ARMS and the elements with every other combination. So,
Misongo was released, and they added Poison as a new element.
Yeah, Poison was
crazy.
A brand new element.
Yeah, that was wild.
Super hype. And we wanted Misongo to be Plant Boy.
The Plant Boy
we had like a couple weeks before Springtron came out.
Yep.
Good stuff.
We had a channel in the Discord called We Want Plant Boy, and we would just post pictures of like Legends of the Hidden Temple and anything we could find in there.
Oh my goodness. What was his like data name or file name? Was it Plant or what was it? I don't know if it was Masango, but I know, and correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, there was a bunch of ones that like were vague code names, so
Yeah,
we're not 100% what matches up with what, but
We just refer to him as Plant Boy now. The Legend of Plant Boy that we never got.
No.
instead we have a man whose arms are literally made out of friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of felt like we were gonna get like a Sutta Woulda or something from Pokemon
Oh my
That
god.
would have been cool.
to counter Helix. Yeah.
Because he looks just like, well, now that I think about it, he looks just like Helix, so.
Pretty close. Yeah.
Well, there was a Digimon that was basically an arms character. He even has like the extendable arms and had like shurikens as his hands.
Oh
That's
man.
funny.
Oh god.
It might have just been Shurimon. I don't remember. Yeah, it was Shurimon. Okay. But yeah, he's basically an arms character. He's got shurikens on the end of his arm and he has extendable.
Ninjara?
And that was basically
Yep, it's
basically Plant Boy and Ninja mixed into one.
Good stuff. So, the last thing we have on our list to discuss tonight is, and this is, kind of straying away from the community a bit, but the character design, lore, and something else I wanted to add too, now that I'm thinking about it, is like the soundtrack. Just other aspects of ARMS that I know a lot of people are a fan of. I love the character designs. I think they're extremely colorful. I think they're creative. And I don't know. I've seen it, like, debated online. I had some people that aren't fans of the game are like, these character designs suck. But I think they're cool. I think they're very
I
unique.
think they're super neat because they're like, all right, I'm going to take something that coils and combine it with something else. So, like, Lola Pop, we're going to take those candy spirals and mix them with a clown, and that's the character.
And I like that. I think it's quirky. I think for ARMS being the unique game that it is, it's fitting. Like, it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes for really cohesive designs and really distinct designs.
Yeah.
I think.
Exactly.
The creator said, or I think one of the creators, or the character developers anyways, even said that Ninjara was apparently the easiest character for them to design. And even Ninjara's design is awesome. So that tells you a lot about the other ones, that how much thought and effort they put into them. Like, that their simplest character to design is that cool looking. Like,
Oh, yeah.
He's
I don't
like a ninja with chain arms.
yeah, I
There you go.
I love Ninjara's design. I think it's so cool.
No,
Like,
he's super neat.
Yeah.
One thing that I like too, and going off of that, is like Springman again is debatably one of like the most bland looking characters, and even he looks so quirky. Like he's got toothpaste hair, and
Yeah, he's got the cool crest going.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
an interesting fact regarding Springman, he is apparently the third person to hold that title.
ooh,
The kind of thing that's going to be revealed in the graphic novel that's coming out next year.
Oh,
So there was
yes.
actually a Free Comic Book Day piece for ARMS that was on the back of the Legend of Korra thing for Free Comic Book Day. And it had a bit of the second Springman talking in it, which was interesting.
Ooh.
Lore.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah, the character design for me is exactly what I would expect from Nintendo. Like, they nailed the whole feel of one experience. Like, the music matches with the characters, with the colors, with the sound effects, and like even the game style and how everything's played. And there isn't a ton of like technical stuff that goes on in ARMS. It's all right there in front of you, presented well and in an easy to understand format with the extendable arms. It's simple to understand what you're supposed to do. And I just feel like the noises and the music and the visuals all are put together into one very clean, very polished package, like Nintendo always does.
As just this bright, colorful, fun thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
nothing feels
While
out of
also
place.
being like a super innovative take on fighting games in general, since fighting games in 3D don't work as well as ARMS does typically. They'll
Right.
have like a 3D appearance, but it's still on like an axis.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
compared to ARMS,
Yeah,
and they
like
were like,
Tekken.
we want to have a distance thing. So how do they solve the problem of not knowing how to gauge distance between you and your opponent? Your attack just keeps going. And that's how they handled ARMS, which I think was brilliant.
I feel like
Yep.
ARMS is a fighting game combined with like a third-person shooter, and
Yeah, ARMS has like shooter elements. It has
Yeah.
a bit of like, based on how the targeting works, it kind of has like the same Z targeting mechanic that like the Zelda games use.
yeah.
So it has a lot of different aspects that it pulled in.
Yeah, and don't forget about the like trading card game aspect, almost like building your deck on your character beforehand and in between matches. The
Oh,
counter
yeah.
picks can completely decide a match regardless
That's
of
so
character
true.
switches.
That's
Just-
awesome.
A game of strategy twice.
Yeah, it pulls so many different elements in from so many different game genres. It's very unique and an excellent new IP, I think.
Perfect hybrid.
Another thing I want to discuss for sure that I feel like doesn't get discussed enough, or hasn't for a while maybe, is like the game lore. Like the lore that they included in the game. It's so funny to me. Like
They're just like, all right, so in this world, 1 out of 5 people just occasionally wake up and have spring arms. And that's just kind of a thing. So we made a sport. And it's like, hold on, I've got questions.
I have a lot of questions here.
Springman woke up apparently and just said these arms are pretty rad, and that was it.
Yeah, he's like, I
Well,
thought it was
yeah.
gonna be weird. Turns out it's pretty rad. And you're like, hold on.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah. Boy, yeah.
oh my god.
Yeah, they've added more and more with the later updates and in the inclusion of the gallery, where they have like a bit of flavor text,
Yes.
especially with some of the research notes where they give you a bit more information about what's going on behind the scenes. So like the masks that all the fighters wear give them the ability to control whether or not their arms are springing all over the place, because I guess
Yeah.
if you don't have them, they just kind of shroomp all over.
like Cyclops with his glasses off, just
Yeah.
they can't be contained. Get the handcuffs.
Big goggles.
So Arms Laboratories just provides them to people for when
Yeah.
that day inevitably comes when your arms just kind of splorp out in front of you.
And how it has
Sure.
like
1 out of 5 people. Like, that's a lot of people.
That's
That
a
just
lot.
have
That's,
this.
my math might be off, but that's near 20% of all people.
Yeah.
A lot.
I love. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, just I love one of the unlockable like art pieces that you get. I love those, by the way. Let me say that was my favorite addition to the game. Was that you can unlock the art pieces and you can read like the little lore bits they have.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love how one of them said that if you noticed or whatever that your arms are like that, it's like please get in touch with Arms Labs immediately and like register. So basically, like to know you have this arms DNA in you or whatever, the arms gene. Like I love how they try to make it like this casual thing. It's like
It's just, yeah, this just,
Crazy.
it happens. You know.
it's like this happens from time to time. Just let us know. Just get in touch with us if you have these problems. It's so good.
Yeah, I remember before the addition of the gallery, we had like the translated versions on Twitter. I don't remember, I think, and I don't know if this is the official ARMS page or official ARMS translation page. It was like ARMS Co-Butter or something like that, Co-Booter.
Yeah, Arms Co-Butter is the official Nintendo sponsored Arms thing.
Oh, okay.
So, and then the marketing in Japan apparently works a lot better when you have a lot of character focus and lore focus. And I guess they didn't think that Western audiences wanted that, even though we definitely do.
Oh, yeah.
So all the tweets were in Japanese, but there was an amazing person who was translating them all into English on Twitter.
Because I remember learning about like how it's like a phenotype and how it's been a thing for however many thousands of years, and plants and animals, you know, it happens to them too. And then it just got more common and stuff like that. That whole history is just so funny to me.
And yet none of that explains Biff. What on earth is Biff?
What
True.
is this?
Biff is the Yoda of arms.
But like in some pictures he's like somewhat normal human sized, but he's always treated as like, oh yes, this is just a normal thing that walks around in our world, and it's like still got questions.
Yeah, I mean, he's not as weird as Helix, so people are like, oh yeah, that guy, we know Biff. What about him? What about him?
Yeah, he's the arms guy, you know.
My
Just
theory that
commentary.
Ikara's a grown-up inkling.
Goodness.
Does anybody
Zara
else see
is
that?
just a nerd who is doing the Arms Grand Prix for his senior project, so
What? Does anybody else think that he has some similarities to an Inkling? Or is it just me?
I can see it. I think it's something about like his face shape and his eyes, and he's got like a bit of the upturned nose that the Inklings have.
I know, you don't see those ears. You don't see those ears. There's something
Is he a squid or is he a
yeah.
I just had a thought on ARMS, like adding in other characters from other games, basically becoming a 3D Smash.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was
Like-
the plan initially, and the problem that they had was the character heights were too different because Mario's so short compared to some other characters.
Oh, yeah.
Because originally when they were like, oh, we'll just do Nintendo characters.
Oh, but
extendable
Dr.
arm
Coyle's
thing.
fine.
Dr. Coyle.
She's a
But
mad
Dr.
scientist,
Coyle's
all
fine.
right?
She's not fine. Help me.
Help me.
Bring her back down to my level.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Get her on. Just
The
lower.
arms heights are inconsistent anyways. Like, I was gonna say, if Springman apparently is like, what is he, like 5'11", I think?
Yeah, he's like 8, and then Misato
5'11",
next to
but
him
then
is like a
Masango-
giant.
Masongo's like 6'3". In real life, I'm about 5'8", and if I speak to somebody or I stand up to someone who's 6'3", I'm like maybe at their, like, the top of my head's probably at their lip. But if you compare Springman to like Masongo, Springman's like not even at his shoulder, so it makes no sense.
Misato is for some reason giant in those games.
But it doesn't
Like-
make sense because the difference should not be that much. It's 4 inches, so it's just like all over the place.
God.
It's a little weird.
Yeah, it's a little strange with the character model. So that's...
Yeah, I've seen that happen in a lot of character designs, like cartoon designs, manga. It's like they have a canon height, but then they look like they're 3 feet tall, or they look like they're 8 feet tall, or whatever.
I was gonna say 6'3" is not that tall, and like when I
No.
see Sango stand up to Springman, I'm like, what is this? Like Springman's like his child.
It is really weird if you see any
Yeah.
screenshots comparing them. They are vastly different in height.
Yeah, I was like, that makes no sense.
Whereas Master Mummy's like 7'6", which is
which
very large.
what?
Maybe it's just that he's so wide that you don't notice.
The wide boy. Yeah, artistic exaggeration.
Yeah. Well, plus they're sized for mechanically what size they're listed as, I'm sure.
Exactly.
And
Yeah, I
they
don't
prove
think
heights and weights for fun, so.
they can't get that right. Like they can't get that perfect. Like that would be ridiculous.
I mean, look at the Pokemon anime and how scale is handled.
Oh
yeah,
my
Charizard.
god.
Yeah, Charizard.
Yes.
Charizard at a whopping 5'3".
So he's like 5'7". He's like an inch shorter than me. I'm like, that's impossible.
Whereas like Noctowl is also like 5 feet tall.
Yeah.
Like that's a very large owl, and the one that Ash had was like 2.5 feet, maybe. I don't know.
Inconsistencies.
Yeah, that's
Shadow
they
King's
had to
like
give
4.5 feet. Like,
I do have one request as to what we talk about, though, at least once, to no one's surprise, is Kid Cobra's lore. Like, is he
He's
a
a
snake?
mystery.
Is he a person?
he's 10 snakes in a baggy pair of pants.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it. Mystery solved. All right, we're done here.
We're done here. Science.
Yes.
Yeah, because, like,
But he's definitely something weird. He's got the heterochromia thing going on, and like all the laboratory stuff for him are he's the only one who is like born with the spring arm thing happening, I guess.
He's not the only one. He's the only one in the cast, but
Okay.
he's just one of the rare cases that it happens. I think the Naja crew or whatever is. I actually think it's a race of beings. I actually think it's like a species.
That's interesting.
I think it is.
I assumed it was just like his snakeboarding bros.
Kid Cobra was actually a legless lizard before he was a snake. He's still not a snake. He was manipulated in a lab to have the arms ability, which you can pay to do through Dr. Coyle's dark and twisted underground
Yeah.
system.
What the heck?
I mean, Coyle's done some things.
Yeah,
Clearly.
Coyle's a little.
She's not
little
sane.
Oh, yeah. If anybody's beaten the game on level 6 or higher, and you get to see how she reacts to everything, yeah, she's got a few loose
Yeah,
screws.
she's got some issues, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you play it as her, like the flavor text between the matches, Biff is just like reading her journal throughout the entire thing.
Oh yeah. Oh,
And at the
speaking
end,
of
he's
that-
like, "Should I be reading this? I don't know. It's too late now. Whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Too late.
go fight Max Brass."
Speaking of that too, actually, with how her Biff's comments on what she says, I love how she calls out the Ninjara warping into Rush's thing. Like she even says, "I need to corner him and get a well-placed rush," and his little fancy hat trick won't work on that. And I'm like, yeah, she even said it herself. The Ninjara warps into Rushes. It's just a thing.
Yeah, he's pretty tricky to avoid rushes with.
What I've found to do is just when I get a rush, I just hang on to it. I wait for my opponent to use their rush, and then I if I have enough time, I can jump to the side and then rush the rusher. That's basically what. That's
Depending on your arms.
Yeah.
Or if you want to evade it, you have to move a little and then shield, or shield a little and then move when you get the opportunity. Because if you shield the whole time, you're probably going to eat it.
Apparently, you can manipulate where you're warping to a little
Can
bit.
you?
But I have no idea how to do that.
Huh.
You can influence it. You can't control it completely.
Okay, I was gonna say, because I know you can influence some characters' grabs too, in that way, where like if they throw it right.
Like I wish Ninjara could he had a normal counter like all the other characters. He technically does when he's frozen, and when it's headlock's special, he can counter normally because he doesn't.
His shield kind of acts as a unique counter, where if you poof and then punch after dodging something.
Yeah, but a lot of the times I would rather
it's not
just
quite as useful as a
counter.
shield parry at all times, though.
Yeah, I would like to counter forward. Like when I'm Springman, I can just counter forward and then fire like the tri-bolt or something and get a stun. Like,
have you seen what a Ninjara does if he blocks through something like a Helix Tower spam?
Does he
just hilarious? He just poof, 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 getting closer.
Or he gets hit.
Yeah. Especially double glove tower spam.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it can be hilarious.
But yeah, his no, I just find it interesting that he does have a way to counter. He does have a counter animation and everything, but it's only in two scenarios, as if he's frozen or it's headlock special.
Yeah, back on the lore, I did enjoy what little information we did get in the Grand Prix, but ARMS definitely needs a bit more story. Since the characters are so interesting, they have really cool designs, they've got kind of a vague motivation, but most fighting games kind of have a draw to those characters through their little, arc in the campaign. So ARMS 2 needs that, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But yeah, single player mode where it actually has cutscenes between the characters. Like the cutscene between Max Brass and Coil.
Yes.
That was awesome. That was awesome. We need more of that.
Yeah, we need the explanation for there's so much to be explained. There's so much we don't know.
Like Ninjara, for example, goes to ninja school. There's ninja school.
Ninja college, all right?
That's a thing that exists in this world, is you just go to ninja school, and as your final project, you can be like, yeah, I'm going to do the ARMS Grand Prix. Also, all the ninjas here have spring arms, because of course we do.
Yeah.
Questions? I've got questions.
That's like in Ninjara's final battle with Headlock. I'm like, he's just trying to pass a class, man. Come on. He's got that student debt to pay off after this. He's been through enough.
Man, that's relatable.
He's probably why am I even doing this, man?
Oh, poor boy.
Well, his hobbies are reading and hiding. So
hey.
Also,
when he's done, he's just gonna go home and read a book.
Hey, power to him. I like Ninjara.
Kid Cobra just wants more views. I mean, don't we all?
Oh my gosh, I remember when I was first playing I don't even think he was playable in the first test punch, I don't think.
No, he wasn't.
But when they first introduced him, and they're like, yeah, he's like a rad snakeboarder and streamer, I'm like, oh, this guy's gonna be a card. And then
that's why I was like, I love this guy. He's a snakeboarding streamer.
Now I'm
so
like,
extra, I need to play it.
Yeah, now I'm
straight out of Rocket Power.
Oh, for sure.
Excellent.
I love that. And
Falling off a snakeboard is now called a beef.
Oh my god. Springman's interest in pizza is cute too. He's like,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dr. Foyle considers it his weakness.
The real life me, apparently, according to Hannah, or a real life Springman.
Yeah, okay, that's a mood. My weakness is pizza too, to be fair.
Yeah.
That's pretty relatable. But all the characters are so unique, and the reasons for entering the ARMS competition or whatever is so cool. I don't know about y'all, but I loved Master Mummy's ending. Like, not only his looking for his family type deal, but his ending where it showed the, you know, special art, and he's like, thank you, and it's like Master Mum's voice. I was like, who's cutting onions? Like,
well, and you see his Grand Prix photo, and he has a mummy family.
I know.
I still have questions.
Good for you, bud. But I'm very confused.
Yeah, but wait a second. What?
So, like, it wasn't just that he, like, is a mummy that was brought back from the dead, but, like, he has a mummy family. They're also mummies.
Well, he used the views from fighting in the ARMS tournament so his family could find him there. They watch it and see, oh, he's there, and there we go. He finds his family. Done.
His family is mummies. That's not a race.
I understood it.
I guess in the ARMS universe, you can also be a mummy. That's just what you are.
And a snake.
I mean, they were probably looking for him, and they see him on the TVs because they see that he's participated in the ARMS League and he's winning, and they're like, "Oh, there he is! We found him! Done."
Well, and there was a couple comments that implied Dr. Coyle is the one who raised him from the dead, which was interesting.
Ooh.
Oh,
that's cool.
Dr. Coyle's a busy lady doing lots of stuff.
She's onto something.
With a mysterious relationship with Max Brass.
Yes, I was just about to talk about that. Her art, her final art when she's like, I don't know, I guess a little younger or like before her, you know, I guess
her transformation.
Yes, her. Yeah, whatever.
Well, she still has the spiral eyes.
Yeah.
So she probably still has the ARMS ability. She's just a little less crazy.
Oh, I meant transformation in that aspect.
Okay.
Mind, yeah.
Yeah, because man, I want to hear more about that. I don't know. And they probably talked about it in the story, I just don't remember it. But obviously they had, like, that implied relationship.
I think all they said was she will never forget what he told her, and then they fight. And it's like, I don't know what that means.
Her heart. He broke her heart, you know he did.
Or maybe he dodged a bullet.
Maybe.
Yeah, whether... Yeah. What were you going to say, Katie?
Oh, that's all I had. I was just trailing off dramatically.
No, you're fine. You're good. I just didn't want to cut you off. Yeah, that's interesting, though. Did they ever have They did have a party crash or whatever, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was Best Frenemies or something.
Yeah. Best frenemies.
They used to be friends, and then something happened, and Max Brass had to go run his mouth, and...
Something terrible.
Dr. Quayle gave birth to Springman, and there it was.
Oof. Oh, goodness.
I remember when that
Helix
was
and Springtron are her actual children. Come on now.
That
Crazy
was
in a lab, as
theory,
children should be.
That was a legit theory for a while, though, was that Dr. Quayle is Springman's mom.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't know about that. It's weird to think about.
Oh, but Helix,
let's design a
Springtron,
robot
and
to
Headlock
kill
are
my
definitely
son.
her babies.
I love it. Her weird babies.
Yeah, one of her voice lines when she puts on Headlock is like, my baby!
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
It is bizarre.
Creepy.
She's got a lot of weird lines. Like when she gets hit by a wind arm, she's just like, wee!
No.
Like, you're enjoying this a bit much.
Max Brass does too. Doesn't he say yeah when he gets hit or something?
He says, oh yeah.
I love when he gets hit by a firearm and it's just, that's hot!
That's hot!
He's a funny character. I like him a lot.
Yeah, the voice lines and arms are wonderful, especially listening to, like, there's a clip that's just, like, all of the voice lines for each character.
Oh,
Helix is a wild ride. I'm just picturing, like, the day in the studio when they're recording that. Like, can you make it, like, more like a seagull?
Yeah, the Helix with the, like, the... It sounds like the seagulls singing.
Like, make it wetter.
Springman getting hit with the wind arms.
Yeah, like when he gets slammed by Master Mummy's throw, he just...
Yeah, he's like...
Flat. His little feet sticking out at the end.
Hannah, Springman with the wind arm, where he's like, whoa!
Yeah.
I love Springman's when he gets caught by a grab and he's just like, what?
What?
Same.
What? Yeah.
That's how I feel, too.
God, I love it. It's so
Love
creative,
voices.
so silly. The soundtrack. I want to ask you guys, what's your favorite tune in the soundtrack?
Oof.
Yeah, it's hard because they're all so good.
Oh, that's bad. That's hard.
I think I gotta go with Temple Grounds. It's just so jungly and so good.
Yeah,
I
but
could
Flute
listen to
and
that
Temple
one over and over.
Grounds and Ninja College is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I like the replay music.
Yes, that one's good.
The replay music is very good.
Um,
That's probably my favorite.
I love the credits theme. I listen to that one all the time. It's definitely slower, but that's such a satisfying tune to hear after finishing whatever Grand Prix level.
Yeah, and it's a little jazzy too.
Oh, it makes you want to get
One
up
of the
and change the world.
Mm-hmm.
It does. It's so like inspirational. The credits music. Like,
I do
it
think
just
they
makes
did a
you wanna-
great job with the
Yeah.
main theme in general.
Yes.
'Cause it's so iconic and so easy to sing along with. I see a lot of streams where people inevitably just start singing the theme.
Yep.
The ribbon girl coming in.
Yeah, Ribbon Girl coming in like midway on the title screen. Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a good soundtrack. I love the Mausoleum theme too. That one's good.
That's a good one. DNA Lab's really good too. I like DNA Lab.
Yep. Yeah, I like that one. What's your favorite, Katie?
Oh geez, I don't know. They're all so good.
It's
Name
also
Probably Name Redacted. Sparring Ring also is a really jammin' remix.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Sky Arena is really good.
it is
So Ninja College and Temple Grounds.
basically the whole
Snake Park's
soundtrack.
got a cool thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I like most every piece of music.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
all
Buster
good.
Beach. I'm not really terribly fond of Buster Beach.
Oh,
They're
Buster
sick.
Beach is hilarious though.
Well, it's got this weird, like, you know that Crash meme that was going around with the whoa?
Oh
There's
my
a
God.
soundbite in Buster Beach that I hear and I can't unhear.
Yeah, and it's like, whoa! Yeah,
and I'm like,
no,
is
it
that
does do
Crash? Is Crash Bandicoot here? Why?
The music is Crash Bandicoot music, and I was right about to say that right before you said the Crash meme. It is like Crash music.
Yeah,
Like it
it's
has that like.
kinda-
Yeah, anything like Crash
Yeah.
Bandicoot, cute. Crash Bandicoot and Donkey Kong Country, those soundtracks, like those noises, the jungly sounds.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Wow.
It's in there, I'm telling you.
No, it is. I'm with you on that. It is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
People
totally.
tell me I'm crazy. I'm like, no, really, it's right there.
It's in there. You can hear it go wow, in the like it's very faintly.
Yeah.
One other thing I want to ask you guys. I don't know why I didn't include this in like our little outline, but like, what are your thoughts on the? I want to say what's the mode? Party mode, modes like the mini game-esque ones where you're not fighting, like volleyball and basketball and all that. What are your thoughts on those? I don't know. I forget what they're called, like the actual name, but you know what I
There's
mean.
Hoops, Skill Shot, and V-Ball.
Yeah.
V-Ball's interesting. It teaches you about movement and targeting, and a little bit about camera jank, because volleyball does some things.
Oh yeah.
My favorite of them is Skill Shot, I think.
Me too.
Because there's a lot more focus on aiming, and there's also like a sub aspect of how to deal with your opponent. Because arm weights really matter in Skill Shot, and like handling your opponent with a wind arm or knocking them down with a firearm can be really advantageous at certain times. And Hoops has some garbage RNG, so it's the worst.
Now,
There's RNG for when you occasionally rim shot, and there's nothing you can do to manipulate it. It's just randomly it decides that your grab doesn't count.
what is
So
RNG?
it's random number generation. So
oh.
there's just a random chance of you getting a rim shot instead of basket, and it's a bummer, and it's the worst. However much I would like to appreciate Hoops for like the grabbing the reads and stuff.
I love hoops. I'm sorry. I
No,
get,
it's
I get,
hilarious.
even
what
when
I
I
started
was-
doing is I'm just like, I'm gonna use blorbs and glushers and throw wide grabs because it makes me happy.
I'm just giggling the whole time during hoops because it's literally just a game of like it's just mind games. The whole thing is mind games. They make it look like you're gonna grab, like nope, just throwing a punch. And I've gone some hoop matches where I'm just laughing like crazy the whole time, and none
the
of us throw a
concept is
grab.
great. It's like, let's play basketball. You're the ball.
No, but none of us throw a grab. Like we just spent the whole match hitting each other because we were just trying to fake each other out like the whole time, and it's just like okay, well 0-0, draw. Good times.
Is there anything else you guys would like to discuss before we call it a night? Anything else?
We didn't get Schkrimps' opinion on the.
Oh, my bad. Oh my god, yes.
No, my opinion on that is that everyone should play what they enjoy, and I'm glad that there are places for people to play those games that they enjoy.
And don't have to, because
Sorry.
minigames are not for everybody.
I'm taking it Schkrimps doesn't enjoy the lag bar.
I like when I have an opponent across from me and I'm in that intense battle. That's what I like about the game. But like,
Yeah, that's called hoops. Like,
As I just described, my hoop matches. It's a match with infinite health.
whenever I play hoops on accident, I just like Helix tower spam and focus on never grabbing one time. I just try and build rush and use rush and hit them off the ropes. Just try and treat it like a fight whenever I play.
rush is
That's
a
a good
guaranteed
idea,
land. It's true.
Yeah. But no, really, like, I'm really glad that there are places for people to do this in this community, because Smash Brothers was meant to be a party game, and that game is really fun when you have the items on. But
Yeah.
the stuff we see on Twitch and all the competitive stuff, it's just 1v1,
Yeah.
Final Destination, no items.
Box
When
on.
really there's a whole community of people who don't get to meet up and play because that's not ever a focus.
Yeah.
So it's good that it is here.
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely.
And besides, we can all agree that ARMS at its core is a fighting game, and it shines best in its 1v1, but I think it does have a lot of interesting things to offer in all of its other game modes. So, I mean, like, my favorite's 2v2. I think there's a lot going on there. You've got two opponents you got to pay attention to, you've got your teammate you got to pay attention to, and there's some more dynamics that happen in that.
I want to ask about that, actually, because you brought up the 2v2, Katy. Schkrimps would probably know, too. Is there, like, a competitive scene for, like, team matches?
There's no consistent way to do it, since, like, for 1v1s, you have arena mode, and you get one player, and you guys both pick going into the match. The only way to do 2v2s is locally, or if you have somebody else who has a pair that are on the same console.
But why don't you adjust the rules so there's, like, the no items and stuff like that, or whatever you need to do, and then just...
Well, mostly it's the matchmaking. You can't get the matchmaking to work.
Yeah, so
Because in a
there's-
party lobby, it'll match people together kind of randomly, so you can't have, like, predetermined teams unless you're on the same console. So the only way it would be able to function is at a local, and I don't think there's a lot of people that enjoy 2v2 besides, like, me and my husband, so...
No wonder I've never been able to find this, because I've tried to look this up forever, like, to see if I can find some, like, competitive, like, 2v2s, because when my wife and I play together, it's hilarious. It's the most bickering we ever do, but...
I mean, if you like
all
doing
good fun,
team
but-
activities, we do some themes like that on Casual Arms if you just want to play them, but it's not really a competitive scene, however much that would be super interesting to me. There's no practical way to do it right now.
Oh, it's
2v2 arenas, come on.
There's
I
the
want
only way you could do it is running a 1v1, v1, v1, and then just
that
agreeing on who your teammate
removes
is.
elements of 2v2 though, because the tether is
Right.
a mechanic,
Exactly.
and friendly fire is off in that, which, like, you can knock your opponent and hit them with elements, but it doesn't damage them.
Yeah.
Explosions damage everybody, so that's
Yeah.
not necessarily a thing, but it drops game elements and wouldn't be quite the same. So
I've lost count of how many times my wife has got me killed with, like, she uses Mechanica and I'm Ninjara, so I'm just dragging her around because I'm like, you need to
we
move
have a move.
faster.
My husband used to use Megawatt a lot, and he would occasionally bop me with it, and we called it the "Get Down, Mr. President," and he'd just hit me again, so I would drop to the ground and not get hit by anything.
Oh man.
Oh my god, that
It's
is
just a
funny.
disaster.
Our 2v2 game is on point most of the time, but not always. But we've
Yeah,
played a good 100 hours of the 2v2 Grand Prix, so
The Red and Green Legends is not the case. We are a mess.
we don't play the Condiment Crew anymore, though. That was our red and yellow themed Springtron. 2 Springtrons is rude.
Oh,
Yeah, that's mean.
So
yeah,
we
yeah,
don't play
exactly.
that
Mean, yeah.
Well, because if you stagger
EMPs.
the EMPs,
Yeah.
it can be brutal. So
Man, EMP is amazing on Headlock. I love doing that in the groups. Like when everybody's like fighting Headlock together, and I just love being Springtron, just EMPing Headlock. It's so
1v1s are
satisfying.
excellent in ARMS, but the teamwork dynamics are also a lot of fun and really engaging, I think.
I really enjoy the Headlock fights. I actually have fun with those.
Yeah, I'm surprised they managed to get, like, a fighting game that's really good in 1v1 and also have good teamwork dynamics. I
Yeah.
think it's super neat
I think it's fun.
that it works well in a lot of these different formats.
Yeah.
So, y'all, you got any more input on anything in particular? Anything?
I think I'm good.
I think
We talk
everyone
about
should pick
that.
up arms and join our communities and keep it alive for many years to come.
Yes.
Indeed.
Yes,
It's
yes,
a great
yes.
game.
The resources are out there if you guys want offline events, they're happening. If you want online events, they are definitely happening, and they're all free that I know of. So if you guys just get the game, you will be welcomed with open arms.
Hey.
Yes.
So mad I said that.
Oh, I know.
I didn't even
No,
mean to say it.
That's amazing.
It's a really common one.
Thanks.
Fidget used that in the MCM Comic-Con thing because they had a
Beautiful.
tournament in the UK and we're doing interviews.
I love it. I love it.
Oops. So good.
Goodness. All right, so you guys cool with calling it a night then? I'm sorry for trying to end it early. Ooh,
It's okay.
I'm glad. I'm glad
I
didn't
think
do
we
that.
covered a lot
Yeah,
today, though.
we
so
did it.
Yeah.
I'm sure we could always talk more about arms another time.
Oh yeah, especially if hopefully there's an arms too. But, well, I think
I could
that's
talk about it forever.
yeah, it's so much fun. But I think that's all we've got for today, folks. So today at Need Nintendo, we talked about our favorite characters and maps, Schkrimps' personal experiences and input on the ARMS community and gameplay.
Ew.
And the character designs, lore, soundtrack, and other aspects of the game as well. So thank you so much, Schkrimps, for joining us today. I really appreciate it. You've been an awesome guest tonight. You're actually our first podcast guest ever here at Need Nintendo.
Ooh,
Yeah,
so special.
Yes, it's been an absolute pleasure talking with you.
I
Thank you
appreciate
so
you
much.
having me. Thank you.
You're so welcome. But with that, thank you to everyone that tuned in and gave us a listen. It's always appreciated. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you guys next time.